Whether it's something you do once a year, once a month, once a day, once an hour, overeating is something that can make you feel helpless and hopeless. But in today's video, I'm going to give you 7 tangible tactics that you can use to stop overeating. But we're gonna make this fun. I'm not just gonna stand up here in teacher Emmie mode. I'm gonna bring you along on my vacation in California, where I went to one of the tastiest restaurants I've ever been to, and I cannot wait to go back. And I'm gonna show you how I used each one of these 7 strategies. Hello, good morning from Laguna Beach. So, a little story time. If you're a client of mine or a friend of mine or a family member of mine, you'll know I am like the opposite of a fly by the seat of your pants kind of gal. I'm like a drive by the whatever the complete opposite of that is. But we went into our Airbnb in Laguna yesterday, and it wasn't the greatest place to be. So we last minute decided to book a hotel in Newport Beach, which was beautiful. So this is very unlike me. I'm so organized, planning things ahead of time. And so it's kind of fun to just pop around to different places. So we're gonna sleep somewhere else tonight. We're gonna go up to the Manhattan Beach area and stay up there. This morning, my godparents, my aunt and uncle, live out here in Orange County, and I haven't seen them, oh man, in like 15 years. And so I texted them if they wanted to get together with us. So they took us up, they picked us up and took us out for breakfast this morning. Went to a diner, and if you are going to a diner oatmeal is the best. But you always want to ask to see if it's made with water or if it's made with milk, because sometimes they will make it with milk. And she confirmed that it was made with water, so that was perfect. I got a little cup of oatmeal this morning. So tip number 7 is to eat regularly throughout the day. If you struggle with overeating, you might think, wait a minute, you want me to eat more? I'm already eating too much. But actually, overeating is usually a symptom of undereating, and binge eating is a symptom of restriction. A lot of the reason why you feel like you can't stop once you start is because you've gone a very long time without eating. And if you've gone a very long time without eating, once you get your hands on food, your body takes over and it says, thank God we've been without food all day long. Give us all the food, give us all the food. So if you restrict all day, intentionally or unintentionally, by the time you get your hands on food, if you get this feeling like I just can't even stop, I'm just shoveling the food, it's this out of body experience, I feel like I've blacked out, it's probably because you haven't eaten all day. When you eat all day, you let your body know that you are in a safe environment where there is food available. If your body doesn't think that there's an environment where there's food readily available, then your brain thinks that there's a famine. If your brain thinks that there's a famine, what usually comes after the famine? The feast. So then when you get your hands on food, your body goes into feast mode, and it's just going to eat everything because it thinks the famine is over. It's time for us to feast. So keep your body out of that feast famine by eating regularly throughout the day, because overeating is very often just a symptom of undereating during the day. And you may not have an overeating problem, you may have an undereating problem that's manifesting through overeating. So that's why I had oatmeal that morning for the meal that I had with my godparents. I knew that we were going to this very special restaurant that night and that I was going to want to get a lot of things, but I didn't starve myself all day in anticipation of that, because what would have happened if I would have done that, I would have gone to the restaurant and eaten my entire face off. I wouldn't even have enjoyed it because I would have just been so hungry. So I made sure to eat throughout the day so that by the time I got to the restaurant, I wasn't ravenous. And now that we're done with strategy number 1, let me introduce myself. My name is Emmie. I'm a nutritionist and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where you work with me as well as a mindset coach and a nutrition coach to lose weight on a plant-based diet. If you're interested in that, go to healthyhunnies.org or just click the link in the down bar. Also, make sure to hit subscribe because I upload a new video every Wednesday and Saturday. So we have now arrived in Manhattan Beach, and what I realized is a restaurant that I have always wanted to go to, which is on my bucket list, called The Spot, is like 15 minutes from here. So the universe is telling me that we have to go there tonight, and so that's where we're going to go. So let me tell you about this place called The Spot. Most vegan vegetarian restaurants are junk food vegan, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's great that they don't harm any animals. It's great that there's no animal protein, but I'm not really I'm not a junk food vegan. You know that if you watch this channel. I'm whole food plant-based. I like real whole food that doesn't have refined oils and too much processed stuff. I really like to have natural food. And this place is a natural food restaurant. It was LA's first ever vegetarian restaurant. Their menu is mind-boggling because most restaurants, every single restaurant on earth, adds oil to everything. They drown everything in oil and butter. This place, they understand oil-free and they can accommodate. So I was looking at their menu and I was like, oh my goodness. For starters, they have guac and baked corn tortilla chips. I promise you, this is the only restaurant on earth where you can get guac and chips that aren't deep fried. So getting those. I also am interested in, they have burritos. Tip number 6 is to eat whole food plant-based. That's what WFPB stands for, if you ever see that. Whole food plant-based. So if you struggle with overeating and you are overeating on processed foods, chips, cookies, cakes, fast food, that type of thing, that's not your fault. That is the one goal of the companies that make these ultra processed foods, is to make you addicted to them. So they spend obscene amounts of money testing these foods so that the taste, the textures, the colors, the advertisements get you hooked. You are not the problem. The food is the problem. Whole food plant-based foods that are in their whole natural form, are not going to hook your brain and send a cascade of dopamine like ultra processed foods are. Let me tell you about Doritos. Do you know what Doritos do? Please don't sue me, Doritos. But let me tell you the truth. They have made it so that the dust on Doritos, right when it hits your tongue, it dissolves instantly, so that you feel like you never really get it and you keep just going back for more. They are designed that way. And then they look at the packaging. Is it eye-catching enough? Is it going to make you want to look at it enough? There are so many things that go into the processing of these foods to make you addicted to them, so that you get this cascade of dopamine, the same feelings that you get when you fall in love as when you eat these foods, and you become hooked on them. When you eat plant foods, when you eat an apple, the same thing doesn't happen as when you eat chili cheese fries, for example. So instead of eating these ultra processed foods with all of this added sugar, added oils, instead eat whole natural food. Your brain is going to react very differently. And if you have no idea what a whole food plant-based diet looks like, I do have a free meal plan, which you can get in the description bar. Try it out, see what it's like, see how you feel. But this is why I wanted to go to this restaurant, because they have so many options that are whole food plant-based, that aren't ultra processed, that don't have the added oils, that aren't going to send a cascade of dopamine that are going to take over my brain. It allows me to be in control. So we made it. We are about a half mile from the restaurant. Excuse me, sir, I'm vlogging. We're about a half mile from the restaurant, so we're gonna enjoy a nice little stroll to the restaurant, and I'm so excited. This place has been on my bucket list for just living. At some point in my life, I wanted to eat here. Now it's happening. And I'm going to enjoy and savor every single bite and be very present in this moment. You may have caught there at the end that I said that I wanted to be peaceful and present in the moment when we were eating our food. This is where rest and digest comes in. If you are spending most of your time in fight or flight, when we're in fight or flight, blood actually flows away from our digestive tract and it moves toward our limbs, because our primal brain thinks that we have to run from something. So if you can put your body from fight or flight into rest and digest, It calms you down, it centers you, it grounds you, and it signals to your body, okay, we can pay attention to food. We can be present with this food in this moment. If we're running around like crazy, we don't even register that we've eaten, so we just keep packing it away. But if we move into rest and digest, we allow our brain to recognize that we are eating, we have eaten, and we don't need to eat anymore. But if you're running around like crazy, you're gonna eat for as long as the day is, and you're not even gonna feel like you've eaten anything. So it was important for us to take our time getting to dinner and to be present and to sit in the sun and to really be there with each other, with the food in that moment, recognizing the food that we are eating, tasting it, chewing it, swallowing it, looking at the colors, as opposed to just shoving it in like crazy. We have arrived. You have a guess of what I'm getting?
Yep.
And what is that?
Taco. Or are you all tacoed out?
Well, they have burritos, which I am very interested in. No such thing as tacoed out. The limit does not exist. I have had 3 servings of tacos this week with you. Do you want to just do our starter for now, or do you want to put yours in? Could we start with the guac and chips, please?
All right.
We'll just start there.
All right.
Thank you.
Tip
number 4 is to chew to the consistency of applesauce. And I bring this up because in the vlog clip that you just saw, I was saying to my significant other, I might have to get my own chips and guac because I'm over here chewing my food to the consistency of applesauce, and my sweet significant other, he's just like, yep, eating one, eating the other. And by the time I'm done with one chip, he's eaten the entire thing. I chew to applesauce consistency, whereas my significant other just piles them all in. But the reason why this is going to help you with stopping overeating is because it's going to allow your brain to recognize that you're actually eating, and you slow down, you chew the food, you send the signal to your brain that you're eating, you get the digestive process going. Slow down with what you're eating so that you're not just shoving it all in very quickly, because it takes time for the brain to recognize that you're eating and that you've eaten. And if you just eat everything so quickly, the brain will not recognize that you've eaten. Chew to applesauce. So I'm choosing between a lot of different things. I'm interested in a burrito. It says it's world famous. I'm also interested in a sandwich. What if I got both and saved some for tomorrow? Or would you eat half of a sandwich? Tonight when we get home, when we get back, you'll say, that actually sounds kind of good.
What's your name? I didn't catch it.
Belize.
Belize?
Yep, and my coworker is Sydney.
Sydney?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Good to meet
Hi,
you guys.
Belize.
Hi,
Okay. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Could we do more guac first off?
Sure.
And then I'm gonna do the garden burrito. Could I have the vegetables steamed?
Sure. They're steamed.
Oh, perfect.
You're good.
Awesome. No cheese.
All right.
And can I do both types of beans?
You got it. That one's on your plate, but it's also vegan as well.
The next tip is to eat with others. So of course I was with my boyfriend, so I was with him, and that's what you see in this clip, is you see me putting down the knife and fork so that I can talk with him while I'm eating and taking our time with one another. We tend to eat more slowly, and we actually tend to eat less when we're with other people, probably because we're eating more slowly, we're engaging in conversation. If it was just me there, then I probably would have just eaten, I would have been done pretty quickly. But because I was with him, I took my time eating everything. And by the end, I felt nice and satisfied, and I wasn't looking for more food because I wolfed it down so quickly. And I could engage in conversation with him and focus on our time together and being in the sun and how I want to move to California. This is insanity. If I knew, now I know why it's world famous. This giant burrito and more chips and guac is coming. I am living. Thank you, Belize.
No problem.
You're the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No problem. You guys
Oh my
enjoy.
gosh.
Thank you.
It's huge. and all the other things that are going on with the experience, as opposed to just wolfing down the food and then going and looking for more and making the food the only part of the experience. Instead, recognizing the eating experience as a holistic experience and bringing in all of those other parts so that I'm not just looking for more food, looking for more food, looking for more food. I will also say that a lot of overeating and binge eating goes on in secret, which is why I made the thumbnail of this photo that, because you can see hiding in the closet, eating food when nobody's watching. So make a promise to yourself that you're only going to eat with others if you are struggling with overeating, to help you slow down, be more present, and be more self-aware. I crushed it. No big deal.
Nope, I had half.
No, he didn't. I had the whole thing.
Wait, they can see me in your reflection. This episode will be the big reveal.
Literally a top 5 meal ever. And oh, it was so good. I wish I could have that every night. And now we're catching the sunset, watching people on the beach, and staying present. But that was literally the best meal I've ever had. I shook the hand of the chef afterward because it was so good. Tip number 2 is to create a post-eating activity for yourself. So we went and we watched the sunset on the beach, and we also watched this adorable little group of boys, 2 uncles and then, nephews. It was the cutest thing ever. They were playing this little baseball game on the beach, and we watched the whole thing, and we were asking about the rules, and they were just adorable. And it was such a wholesome experience to do after our dinner together. And we had planned, let's go eat, and then let's go just check out the beach, watch the sunset, see what's going on there with the people of California. Planning that for afterward made it so that the food wasn't the whole center of the experience and the thing that was going to give us a high, because then we would just go seek more food, seek more food, seek more food. And when the food was gone, we'd feel sad. And then to get the happiness again, go seek more food, which is not what we're going for here. I don't want food to be the sole thing that brings me joy. I want watching the sunset with my significant other to bring me joy. So let's wrap that into the experience and make that one of the things that we're looking forward to, as opposed to just looking forward to the food. So what can you do after you're eating? Can you go for a bike ride? Can you call a friend, read, paint? What can you do after eating that you will look forward to so that you can close off the eating, done there, now I'm gonna focus my energy and get a dopamine hit from somewhere outside of food? The best meal, truly one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. I need to learn how to remake that burrito. But, Bub, guess what? Guess what is like a few minutes from our hotel?
What's that? Custard? Wanna hit it?
Only if you want to.
Yeah. Wait, is it pressed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll hit custard.
Should we close off our vacation with some custard?
Absolutely.
All right. So we're gonna close off with a trip to Press Juicery, where their like froyo, if you want to call it that, is just made out of almonds, dates. There's no sugar added. There's no, of course it's vegan, but it's just a few ingredients. So we're gonna close it off with that. Got my little custard. Well, it's not custard, but my significant other always says it's my custard. Press Juicery is the absolute best. This is just made from almonds, dates, and cocoa powder, and then I put some almond butter drizzle on top. So it's vegan, it's whole food plant-based, no added sugar, no oil, no nothing. Just so delicious, and I'm excited about it. Tip number 1, you will see that we went to Press Juicery afterward, and Press Juicery has incredible frozen desserts that are just made from almonds, dates, and cocoa powder. It's like the craziest thing in the world. It's wild. It's literally just made from almonds, dates, and cocoa powder, and there was one in the area, and I said, let's go get some. But the reason why I bring this up is because when we were at the dinner, I knew in my head, and I always know, I can always go eat more food later. I can always go eat more food later. I can always go eat more food later. If I get hungry later, then I'll eat more later. Right now I'm okay. We'll see what happens later. The Last Supper mentality is, this is the last time I'm eating this. I have to get it all in now. I'm going to start over tomorrow. I'm starting clean. I have to eat all of this right now or never. I've already done this, so I may as well go have more. It is just very in this moment, I need to eat all of these things right now because I'm never going to eat them again. As opposed to when you do away with the Last Supper mentality, recognizing that you're going to have some now, you can have some later, you could have some tomorrow if you wanted to. Actually, when I finished that burrito, I thought, I actually might come get some of this tomorrow before we go to the airport. And if not, I'll get some the next time I come back. I'm okay right now. Maybe I'll get a little bit hungry later and maybe we'll go get something later. And we ended up going to Press Juicery because I said, yeah, I could go for something right now. Instead of in the moment at the restaurant, ordering absolutely everything on the menu and stuffing myself because I was so, there's so many things that can come up, like a scarcity mindset about never eating this food again or being perfect tomorrow because you've already messed up today. So doing away with the Last Supper mentality that you have to eat all of it right this second, right now. You can always eat more food later. And then I've written key takeaways here because I want you to consider what has really stood out for me in this video. What am I going to change moving forward based on these strategies? Which strategies am I going to implement today? Maybe this one, a post-eating activity, maybe chewing the applesauce. Maybe you haven't eaten anything today because you think that you have an overeating problem, but really you have an undereating problem. If you made it to this point in the video, please let me know if you like this style of video. Seriously, leave a comment and let me know because usually I do a vlog or I do this, but I said, wait a minute, why don't I combine Teacher Emmie and Vlog Emmie into one in this video? So this is really fun to do because I got to stand up here and teach, and also I got to take my vlog and feel like I added value to it. So I love you, honeys. Let me know if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video.